What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down something that all wide receivers need to master and they need to get down. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things. And also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver, we just came out with a new 30-day wide receiver catching program 2.0. So it is the more advanced version of our original how wide receivers can improve their hands in 30 days. No quarterback is needed for this program, fellas. We give you exercises for grip strength, hand-eye coordination, everything you can do to improve your hands in 30 days, no QB necessary. So check out that very first link below, you guys, if you're interested. Let's get started with this video. So what I want to talk about today is being able to snap down. So we had a couple questions about a snap down yesterday, and I wanted to make a video on it, explaining the mechanics of it, how to actually do it, and how you guys can apply it. So what is snapping down? A lot of people hear that phrase. They hear a lot of trainers talk about that phrase. It is how you would get in and out of a break where you have to kind of drop your hips. So that would be something like a curl or something like a comeback, a curl, maybe a dig in some cases, a hitch, anything where you have to put the brakes on and throttle down. So when you guys go to snap down, the first step of you snapping down is something we call a trigger step. So usually, like when I work this with my wide receivers, we'll do this off of like steps, for example, especially when we have like a zone coverage look. So if I'm running a route, like let's say it's like a 12-yard stop route, like what Devontae Smith is doing here, you want it to be like maybe your fourth inside step. So that fourth inside, the foot close to the quarterback, that's that trigger step that will snap you down. So the reason why we snap down, the whole purpose of it, is to be able to create explosion at the break, but be able to decelerate while I'm running full speed. So we're going to show this example here, and this is perfect technique from Smith. And then we're going to show kind of an example of what you maybe want to avoid when you're trying to snap down. So when he snaps down here, most important thing is that we are aggressive with it. I am shooting my weight down. I am dropping at my hips, and I'm almost thinking of it like I want to bring my chin directly to my knee. This is a textbook position that you want to try to be at. Now, like I said, the reason why we snap down is because if you're running full speed, how many of you have probably heard the term before, you want to beat the drum? So like you get to the top of the break, like let's say you have to break right here at this like 35-yard line. Guys will love to chatter their feet and move their hands abruptly. They call it beating the drum, or like foot fire, if you will. Now, the problem with that is that there's no explosion there. You're essentially just slowing down, and you cannot do that on a dime. Being able to stop on a dime comes from you snapping down violently. So on that trigger step, that is what starts all of that. That is the step where you get low. That is the step where you start to drop your hips. Now, some of the key mistakes that guys will make on this trigger step is that, one, they won't get low enough, right? So they'll try to do this. They'll step super hard. They'll be running full speed, but they will not drop their butt down. They will not drop their hips and bring their chin to their knee. They will try to snap down, but they will remain tall. If you do that, if you have speed going into the route and you try to snap down but you don't drop, you will drift, we will be off balance, and that is a good way to hurt yourself. A lot of people are hesitant on this trigger step and being able to snap down and be aggressive at the break point because everybody loves to say, oh, that'll be an ACL, oh, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to tear something. That's not true if you have the right form, much like anything else, much like lifting weights. You do bad form on a squat, yeah, you're probably going to hurt yourself. But when you snap down at the top of a break, you just got to make sure that we get low enough so I can take that pressure off my ankle and off my knee. Now, the second thing that guys will make a mistake on is their foot strike. So this isn't the best example of the foot strike here from Devontae Smith, because watch where he strikes the ground. You see how he's hitting his heel first? That puts an incredible amount of pressure on that ankle and on that Achilles because he's striking on his heel. Now, some of you might think, well, do I want to strike on my toe? You do not want to strike on your toe either, because if your weight gets too far forward, you are going to drift forward. Because remember, we don't want to hinge at the waist and go forward. We want to drop at the waist. So a good aiming point, and Smith does kind of end up getting to there, is that middle arch of the foot. So that like upper ball of the foot, like if you guys are wearing Nikes, where that Nike logo is on that arch, that's kind of where you want to be. Because that can help me get to a good balanced position where I'm not too far ahead of myself, but I'm also not too far back. Because when you strike on those heels sometimes, another mistake that guys will make when they snap down is their chest will be straight up in the air and their weight is shifted back. You almost have to think of it like a soda can, and you're crushing the can. You are crushing the top of the can. That's what you want to do at the top of the break when you snap down. The whole reason I go over this, the purpose of this, is to show you guys that when you guys are running full speed into a break, that is how you throttle down. That is how you slow down. Now, What do you do with the hands when you snap down? So you see how Smith, when he goes into this break, it kind of looks like his hands die a little bit. He shoots his hands down. Now, for this particular case, this is a stop route, right? So a stop route is where you're running up 12, 10, however deep it is, and you're just putting the brakes on right now. So it's important that we do kind of stop my feet. I need to be able to snap down and put the brakes on and decelerate right away. So in that case, you making your hands go dead is completely fine. We just don't want unnatural movement with my hands. So that's the mistake where a lot of guys go wrong. See, a lot of guys, when I say don't beat the drum, they jump to conclusions. They say, oh, you got to keep your hands moving. This is wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying you want to keep your hands natural. You don't want to do anything unnatural with your hands because that's going to make your feet unnatural. When you guys snap down, you want to make sure that, hey, if your feet are going to die, your arms die. If you want unnecessary wasted movement with your feet, do unnecessary wasted movement with your hands. And obviously we don't want that. But you want your feet to get natural. Let's say he's running a comeback. Keep your arms natural. Run your arms. Accelerate the arms. Act like you're running in and you're running out. The arms should not change. What changes on a break is the amount of hip drop that you have, the trigger step, and you being violent. So now, what's another thing that wide receivers will do? The mistake that they will make when they start to snap down is that they will snap down, they'll do the great trigger step, but the steps after that are very weak steps. So you've probably seen it before. Guys will run up, they'll do a comeback route, they'll try to snap down. Like let's say, for example, they'll snap on this inside foot right here. So they'll run up, they'll make that break, they'll snap, but after that, the remaining steps are not powerful steps. They're not steps to create energy. They just stay on their toes and they might as well just beat the drum. And they'll end up drifting. They'll not have as sharp of a cut. And that gives the DB time to recover. Even after you snap down, fellas, we're getting low on the trigger step. Those steps afterwards have to create energy because that can eliminate wasted steps. That can eliminate wasted motion by drifting on a break before getting out of it and making that sharp turn. So fellas, we snap down, my steps are powerful, my hips are violent because that is how I can decelerate when I am selling a go. Every single route is a fade until it's not, but how I decelerate is how I get separation, and that comes from this snap down. Kind of just teach tape here from Devonta Smith. Let's watch full speed again one more time. Great job showcasing that trigger step, how you want to get low with your hips, and the perfect form needed to get in and out of a break. Okay, so now this next clip here is from Stephon Diggs. Now, I just want to talk about one thing that guys love to do on this, like anytime that they snap down, and that's giving an indicator with their hands. So what's an indicator on a route? Like, I'm going to play this full speed, and I'm going to see if you guys could spot the indicator. So he's running this kind of like stutter, like curl route, if you will. And there's one kind of key indicator here that a lot of wide receivers will do, and that's throwing their hand up. So an indicator. It's exactly how it sounds. When you're running a route, like we talked about, what are we trying to sell always? We're trying to sell fade, right? So we're trying to make the DB think I'm running deep until the last possible second. So I have to run hard. I have to run in full stride. I cannot raise my pad level, and by pad level, I mean your chest. So when you're going up into a break, if you have all those things, this DB has to think it's a fade. But when we snap down, obviously we are trying to change levels. We are trying to drop into a break. So something that a lot of wide receivers will do is they'll swing their hand up. You see how Diggs, this is Stephon Diggs, clips from the Vikings. So he swings his hand up in the air as he goes to snap. You're letting the whole stadium know that you are making a cut when you swing that hand up. So, fellas, just those little details of raising the hand up. Maybe some guys love to raise the pad level up, then snap down because it helps them generate more momentum. But we got to understand that that's an indicator. We have to try to avoid that at all costs. Keep the same body language, keep the same speed. Let the hip drop get you out, not a raise up, a load up of the pad level, and then you're dropping down. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So just make sure, fellas, this is actually very good hip technique, very good technique, snapping with the outside foot, stopping on a dime, but we just can't give that DB any indicators because he can lock that up. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you'd like a full 30-day wide receiver catching program, no quarterback necessary, we give you over 100+ drills to improve your grip strength, hand-eye coordination, the works. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. I'll see you guys next time.